Hi class, I hope you're all well and keep safe. I just thought I'd do a video on completing the square and just to try to help you with this one, how I'd be doing it in the class. So what is completing the square? So basically if we take this, that's a quadratic. We've only got two parts there, but we can have a look in a moment with the three parts. So completing the square means this. Completing the square is just rearranging that in a different form. So what we try to do is we try to put it in a bracket of x plus something all squared. Now, we need something here which when we multiply out would give that. So I'm going to just put 3 in there first. Now that doesn't equal that. Don't put it yet. We've just got to make an adjustment. But if we did multiply out x plus 3 squared, and as you know, when a bracket's squared, it means it's multiplied by itself. If we multiply this out, then you can see that we get x squared plus 3x plus 9. So we would get x squared plus 6x plus 9. So this is equal to x squared plus 6x plus 9. So in order to make it equal to that, we need to subtract the 9. This is here is x squared plus 6x plus 9. We subtract 9. We get that. Let's just check that. The cat's come in. So we've written this in this form. So let's just check x plus 3 squared minus 9. If we expand that, we get x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus 9. The 9's cancel, and we get x squared plus 6x. Hello, cat. You want to be on the video? You sat on the cushion over there. Right, so that's completing the square. And that's everything you need to know. So let's just have a look. What would we have if we had x squared minus 8x? What would that be? Have a think about it. So again, the idea is we take, if that's x squared, then we take an x here. We always take half of this. And if that's minus 8x, we need minus 4 there, and that's squared. Now again, if we were to expand this, x minus 4 times x minus 4, then that gives us x squared minus 8x plus 16. So we need to subtract 16 from there to make it equal. And you might say, well, why are we doing that? Well, it turns out to be extremely useful. So at the moment, we're just doing it because we know it's going to be useful. We're not going to, we don't see exactly why it's going to be useful yet, but believe me, it is. So this is the system. We look at this. We take half of that number here, and then we always subtract the square of that number, and that will make it equal. We take half of that number here, so it's minus 4, and then again, we still need to subtract. So we always subtract the square of that number. We always subtract the square of this number. So I'm going to give you 4 of these to do. When I've written them up, I want you to pause the video and have a go, and then I'll complete them on the video. And we go down the page, because this is not an equation, this is, we're rearranging, so we're rewriting in a different form. So we go down the page and the answer will be there. So make a note of these. So write these down. And here we are. Okay, 4 examples. Can you pause the video now and have a go yourself, please? Pause the video, have a go yourself. Okay, here we are. So we're taking half of this. So x minus 3 squared, and then we subtract the square of that, minus 9. We take half of this, x minus 2 squared, we subtract the square of that, minus 4. X plus 3 over 2 squared, and then we subtract the square of 3 over 2, which is minus, so minus 9 over 4. Remember, when you square a fraction, you square the numerator and the denominator separately. So you square the numerator, you get 9, you square the denominator, you get 4. And here we have to be careful again, x plus a half squared, that's 1, so half of that is a half, and then minus a quarter, the square of a half is a quarter. Okay, that's the first bit. How did you get on? Just see if you can understand what I'm doing. If you're not sure, play the video again and see where we are with it. So that's not the whole story. So let's just take this a little bit further before you do some examples. So let's start with this. Let's start with this again. And as you know, most quadratics come with an extra bit on the end, what we call a constant term. Constant because it's not a variable. It stays 1 is always 1. But x can change, x is a variable. So what do we do with this when we're completing the square? Well, the answer is we do almost exactly the same thing. We just cover that up for the start. So we complete the square as we would. So that's x plus 3 squared minus 9. And then this plus 1 just hangs around. Remember, we're rearranging so that 1 just can't disappear. And it just comes down to join the minus 9. And then we have this minus 8. Minus 9 plus 1 is minus 8. So the number on the end just hangs around. And so let's say minus 8x minus 4. And then so we'll cover that up. And then it's x minus 4 squared minus 16. The minus 4 comes down to join that. And then we're minus 4, 16, minus 20. Just combining those two constant terms. Okay, so 3 examples for you. And then I'll give you an exercise to do. X squared plus 5x plus 1. Have a go at that. X squared minus 3x plus 4 and x squared plus x plus a quarter. So we need 2 lines of working for each of these. That's question 1, question 2, question 3. Can you pause the video and have a go at those yourself? Okay, covering up these. X plus 5 over 2 squared minus 25 over 4, and then the 1 comes down. Now you can put this into your calculator, minus 25 over 4 plus 1. I prefer to say, well, this is like 4 over 4, so we've got negative 25 over 4 plus 4 over 4. This stays the same, and that becomes negative 21 over 4. Here, cover that up, x minus 3 over 2 squared minus 9 over 4 plus 4, and that would be x minus 3 over 2 squared. This is minus 9 over 4 plus 16 over 4, so that would become plus 7 over 4. And then we're here, so we cover that up, x plus a half squared minus a quarter plus a quarter. The quarter comes down, which leaves x plus a half squared. So completing the square form doesn't have to have a bracket and a bit extra, but it does have to have, it has to have a bracket squared with a bit extra, or a bracket squared. This is also completing the square. Now this is very useful. Not easy to see how at the moment, but believe me it is. Now, what I want you to do, I'll put the book 2 on the system. I know those of you in year 9, we don't do this until later, but I just wanted to, some of you were, we're studying quadratics, so I wanted you to get a fuller sense, because this is definitely to do with quadratics, and it's definitely very useful in terms of drawing quadratics, especially if a quadratic doesn't factorize. So I'll put the book 2 on the system. The year 10s, you'll have that anyway. So I'll put the book 2 on Google Classroom, and you're going to go to page 116. And then we've got exercise 3 and exercise 3 star. So again, as always, trust your, take responsibility for your own learning. If some of those examples in exercise 3 are too easy for you, move on. I would recommend that this becomes second nature to you. In order for something to become second nature, you need to experience repeated excess time after time after time. It goes into your mind, and so whenever you see completing the square, you feel happy about it. Completing the square, historically, that's where a lot of students have struggled with, what do I do with here and there? So I'm hoping that you can see exactly what I've done and everything's clear in your mind. Have a go at those and mark them and let me know. Okay, so the next video I'm going to do is going to be how we complete the square when x squared isn't 1. It's slightly different, but the same process, and we end up with a bracket squared like that. Okay, thank you very much.